In the year 2235, humanity had spread across the galaxy, establishing colonies on various planets. Among these worlds was Vorten Prime, a thriving hub of trade and commerce where species from all corners of the universe came together. The planet was known for its vibrant markets, towering skyscrapers, and the lively chatter of merchants selling their wares. However, beneath the bustling exterior, there were whispers of danger. Alex Carter was a young engineer who worked at the Vorten spaceport. He was passionate about technology and spent most of his days repairing ships and maintaining infrastructure. With tousled brown hair and bright blue eyes, he had an infectious enthusiasm that drew people to him. Alex had always dreamed of adventure beyond the confines of his work, but he found himself trapped in the mundane routine of daily life. One day, while exploring an abandoned section of the spaceport, Alex stumbled upon a strange metallic object half buried in the ground. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. The artifact shimmered under the light, pulsing with a soft glow. Curiosity piqued. Alex decided to take it back to his workshop for further examination. He believed it could be a valuable piece of technology that might change his life. As he studied the artifact, Alex noticed a series of intricate symbols etched into its surface. He spent hours trying to decipher its meaning, but the symbols were alien and complex. Suddenly, the artifact emitted a high-pitched sound, startling Alex. A holographic image flickered to life above the artifact, displaying a beautiful alien woman with long, flowing hair and striking features. She appeared distressed and was pleading, "For help, please. If anyone can hear me, I need assistance." Her voice echoed in the workshop. "I am Princess Lyra of the Elorian people. I am being held captive by the Zinther Empire. I plan to use my people's knowledge for their own gain. If you can hear me, please save me." Alex's heart raced as he listened to her desperate plea. He had heard of the Zinther Empire and their merciless reputation, known for conquering planets and enslaving their inhabitants. The thought of a princess in trouble stirred something deep within him. He knew he had to do something, determined. To rescue her, Alex gathered a team of trusted friends. He reached out to Kira, a fierce warrior from the Mealeri species, known for her combat skills and loyalty. She had a fierce look in her eyes, but Alex knew she had a kind heart. Next, he contacted Sam, a brilliant hacker who could break through any security system. Finally, he enlisted Jox, a charismatic former smuggler who had connections across the galaxy and could help them navigate the dangerous underworld. Together, they met at Alex's workshop to discuss their plan. The atmosphere was tense but charged. With excitement, "We need to infiltrate the Zinther stronghold and rescue Princess Lyra," Alex explained, his voice steady. "If we can get her out, we can learn more about the Zinther's plans and put an end to their tyranny." Kira nodded, her expression fierce. "I'm in. We can't let them keep her. She's our only chance to understand what they're really." After, Sam, sitting at a terminal, began to pull up information on the Zinther Empire's stronghold. "It won't be easy. Their security is top-notch, but I can hack into their systems. We'll need to be quick and careful." Jox leaned back in his chair, a smirk on his face. "And I can get us in. I know a few routes that will help us avoid detection. Trust me, I've done worse jobs before." As they discussed their strategy, a sense of purpose filled the room. Each member of the team brought unique skills, and together they felt stronger. The mission was dangerous, but the thought of saving Princess Lyra sparked a fire in their hearts. That night, as Alex lay in bed, he couldn't help but think about the princess. Her voice echoed in his mind, and he felt an unexplainable connection. To her, if they could succeed in their mission, it could change everything, not just for Lyra, but for the entire galaxy. Alex closed his eyes, determined to do whatever it took to bring her home. The adventure he had always dreamed of was finally beginning, and he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As dawn broke over Vorten Prime, the sun cast a warm glow across the bustling spaceport. Alex Carter awoke with a mix of excitement and nerves. Today was the day he and his team would attempt to rescue Princess Lyra from the clutches of the Zinther Empire. He quickly dressed, his heart racing at the thought of the mission ahead. This was no longer just a dream. It was reality. After a quick breakfast, Alex headed to his workshop, where Kira, Sam, and Jox were already gathered. The atmosphere buzzed with energy, each member focused on their tasks. Sam was poring over holographic maps of the Zinther stronghold, while Kira practiced her combat moves and Jox checked his gear, ensuring everything was ready for the journey. "All right, team," Alex said, gathering their attention. "We need to stick to the plan. Sam will hack into the security system to create a distraction, while Kira and I will find the princess. Jox, you'll cover our escape route. If we work together, we can do this." Kira nodded, her expression serious. "We need to be quick and quiet. The Zinther won't take kindly to intruders." With a final nod of agreement, the team set off towards the Zinther stronghold, located on the outskirts of the city. The stronghold was an imposing fortress, surrounded by high walls and guarded by numerous alien sentries. As they approached, Alex felt a knot of anxiety in his stomach, but he pushed it aside. They had a mission to complete. Once they reached a vantage point, they could see the entrance of the stronghold. Sam began to work on hacking the security system. "Just give me a moment," he whispered, fingers dancing over his portable console. The screen flickered as lines of code scrolled by. "I'll create a diversion. When I give the signal, we move." As Sam worked, Kira and Alex scanned the area, noting the guard patterns and possible entry points. "We need to be ready for anything," Kira said, her eyes sharp. "If things go south, we retreat immediately." Minutes felt like hours as Sam continued to hack into the system. Finally, he grinned and announced, "I'm in. The security feeds are looping.
We have a
small window to get in. Go now." Without wasting a second, Alex and Kira dashed towards the entrance, hearts pounding. Jox stayed behind, ready to assist if needed. They slipped through the doorway just as the guards were distracted by the false feeds on their screens. Inside, the stronghold was dimly lit and eerily quiet. The walls were made of cold metal, and the air was thick with tension. They moved cautiously, ears alert for any sounds. As they navigated the narrow hallways, Alex's mind raced with thoughts of Lyra. He hoped she was safe and that they would find her soon. Suddenly, they heard footsteps approaching. Kira pressed herself against the wall, signaling for Alex to do the same. Two Zinther guards walked past, their voices low and menacing. "The princess is still locked away. No one gets in without authorization," one guard said. Alex held his breath, feeling a surge of determination. They had to find Lyra and get out before it was too late. Once the guards were out of sight, they continued their search. A few minutes later, they spotted a door marked with strange symbols. This had to be it. Kira pushed the door open, and they entered a small room. There, in the center, was Princess Lyra, shackled to a chair, looking weary but defiant. Her emerald green eyes lit up with hope as she saw them. "You came. I knew someone would come for me," she exclaimed. Alex rushed forward to free her. "We're here to get you out. We need to hurry." As he worked to unlock her shackles, Lyra explained, "The Zinther are planning something big. They want to use my people's knowledge to conquer other planets. We must stop them." Just then, alarms blared throughout the stronghold. "We've been discovered," Kira shouted, drawing her weapon. "We need to move now." With Lyra freed, the team sprinted down the hallways, adrenaline surging through their veins. The Zinther guards would be on high alert, and they had to escape quickly. Alex led the way, heart pounding as he pushed open doors, searching for an exit. As they reached a corridor, they came face to face with a group of Zinther soldiers. Kira immediately took charge, engaging the enemy with skill and precision. Alex and Lyra ducked behind cover, watching as Kira fought bravely, holding the soldiers at bay. "Go. I'll cover you," she yelled, determination blazing in her eyes. "Alex," and Lyra took the chance and dashed past Kira, racing towards the exit. They could hear the sounds of battle behind them, but there was no turning back. They had to escape and warn others about the Zinther's plans. As they burst through the door and into the open air, Alex felt a rush of relief. They were out, but the fight was far from over. Together, they would take on the Zinther and change the fate of the galaxy forever. As the team burst out of the Zinther stronghold, The bright light of Vorten Prime flooded their senses. Alex, Lyra, and Kira sprinted into the chaos of the city, their hearts racing with adrenaline. Behind them, the sound of alarms blared, and they could hear the distant shouts of Zinthar's soldiers as they realized their prisoners had escaped. "Over here," Kira shouted, leading them towards a narrow alleyway that twisted between the towering buildings. They ducked into the shadows, hoping to evade their pursuers. Alex glanced at Lyra, who looked both relieved and determined. "Thank you for coming." "For me," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. "I knew I could count on you." Alex felt a swell of pride at her words. "We're not safe yet. Need to regroup with Sam and Jox and come up with a plan to stop the Zinthar." As they moved through the alleyways, they could hear the distant sounds of blaster fire and the shouts of the Zinthar searching for them. They felt the weight of their mission hanging over them. The knowledge that the Zinthar were planning something dangerous added urgency to their escape. Finally, they reached a small hidden entrance that led to a maintenance tunnel. "This way," Kira urged, leading them inside. The tunnel was dark and damp, but it provided a temporary refuge from the chaos above. They moved cautiously, trying to stay as quiet as possible. After a few minutes of walking, they emerged into a small, dimly lit room. Sam and Jox were already there, anxiously awaiting their return. Sam looked up with relief as they entered. "You made it. I was worried when the alarms went off." "Barely," Alex replied, panting. "This is Sam and Jox." "There. Part of the team?" Lyra offered a grateful smile. "Thank you both for helping rescue me." "Quo." Jock smirked. "Nice to meet you, Princess. But we need to get moving. The Zinthar will be searching for us everywhere." Sam quickly explained. "Situation. I managed to hack into the Zinthar's communication systems while you were gone. They're planning a large-scale operation to capture more humans and Elorians. We need to act fast before they can execute their plan. Do you have any idea where they are?" Kira asked, her hands clenched into fists ready for action. "Yes," Sam replied, pulling up a holographic map of the area. "I found out they're gathering at the old Zinthar shipyard on the outskirts of the city. They're preparing to launch ships to invade nearby planets." Alex felt a surge of determination. "We can't let that happen if we get there first. We might be able to sabotage their ships and rescue more captives." Lyra nodded, her expression fierce. "We have to warn my people. They need to know what the Zinthar are planning." The team exchanged glances, understanding the magnitude of their task. This was not just about rescuing one princess. It was about stopping a galactic threat. They quickly finalized their plan and gathered their gear, preparing for the next phase of their mission. As they left the safe room, the group moved stealthily through the maintenance tunnels, emerging near the shipyard. The air was filled with the sounds of machinery and the voices of Zinthar soldiers. They could see ships being loaded with supplies and weapons. The Zinthar preparing for their invasion. "Let's split into two groups," Alex suggested. "Sam and I will head for the control room to disable their systems. Kira and Lyra, you two can create a distraction to draw the guards away." "Got it," Kira replied, a determined look on her face. "We'll make some noise and get their attention." With their roles assigned, the team moved into position. Alex and Sam crept towards the control room, a small building on the edge of the shipyard. They could see guards patrolling the area, their eyes scanning for any signs of trouble. "Stay low," Sam whispered, pointing to a nearby stack of crates. They quickly ducked behind them, waiting for the right moment to move. Meanwhile, Kira and Lyra positioned themselves near the entrance to the shipyard. Kira raised her weapon, a confident smile on her face. "Ready to make some noise?" "Ready," Lyra replied, her heart pounding with excitement. With a sudden burst of energy, Kira stepped out into the open and fired a warning shot into the air. "Hey, Zinthar, over here," she shouted, drawing the attention of the guards. The guards immediately turned, shouting in confusion and rushing toward Kira. "That's our chance," Alex said, motioning for Sam to follow him into the control room. They slipped inside, quickly locating the main terminal. Sam began typing furiously, trying to access the shipyard systems. "I can disable their ships. We can buy time." For Kira and Lyra, as alarms blared again, Alex felt a rush of adrenaline. They were in the heart of the enemy's lair, and every second counted. With determination in his eyes and the weight of the galaxy on their shoulders, they prepared to make their stand against the Zinther Empire. Inside the control room of the Zinther shipyard, Alex and Sam worked quickly to disable the enemy's systems. The blaring alarms echoed in their ears, but they focused on the task at hand. Sam's fingers danced over the console, trying to bypass layers of security, while Alex kept watch for any incoming guards. Come on, Sam muttered, sweat beading on his forehead. I just need a little more time. Outside, the sounds of chaos filled the air. Kira's voice rang out, shouting taunts at the Zinther soldiers while firing her weapon to draw their attention. Every shot she fired sent the guards into a frenzy, causing them to rush toward her location. Lyra stood beside her, ready to fight if necessary, but she trusted Kira to handle the distraction. Let's move, Kira shouted, darting behind a stack of crates as the guards closed in. She and Lyra had to keep the Zinther occupied long enough for Alex and Sam to complete their mission. Back in the control room, Alex glanced at Sam, who was still furiously typing away. How much longer? He asked, anxiety creeping into his voice. I'm almost in, Sam replied, his eyes locked on the screen. Just a few more seconds, and yes, got it. The screen flashed as Sam accessed the shipyard's mainframe. He quickly navigated to the controls for the ships. Now, let's disable their launch sequence, Sam said, clicking through the options. If we can stop them from taking off, we'll buy ourselves some time. Just then, the door to the control room burst open, and a group of Zinther soldiers stormed in, weapons drawn. Intruders, one of them shouted, aiming his blaster at Alex and Sam. Get down, Alex yelled, diving behind the console as blaster fire erupted around them. Sam ducked just in time, narrowly avoiding a shot that would have hit him. Keep working, Alex shouted, pulling out his own weapon. He aimed at the guards, returning fire as they took cover. The room erupted into chaos, with blaster shots ricocheting off the walls. I'm trying, Sam shouted back, his focus unwavering as he continued to type. Just hold them off a little longer. Alex fired again, hitting one of the guards, and causing him to stumble backward. We can't let them take us, he urged, determination fueling his actions. Outside, Kira and Lyra could hear the commotion inside the control room. We need to help them, Kira said, glancing at Lyra. Are you ready? Yes, Lyra replied, her voice filled with resolve. They dashed toward the door of the control room, ready to join the fight. As Kira pushed the door open, she yelled, Alex, Sam, we're here. The sight of the Zinther soldiers startled Kira, and she quickly raised her weapon, joining the fray. With Kira's arrival, the balance of the fight began to shift. Kira's combat skills shone as she took down another Zinther guard, her movements swift and precise. Lyra, inspired by Kira's bravery, joined in, using her agility to dodge incoming fire. Keep moving, Alex shouted, encouraging them to take the fight to the Zinther soldiers. With their combined efforts, they began to push the guards back. Gaining ground in the control room finally, Sam shouted, I've got the launch sequence disabled. The ships won't be able to take off. Relief washed over Alex as he felt the pressure lift slightly. They had achieved one part of their mission, but they still needed to escape. Now what? Kira asked, catching her breath as they fended. Off the remaining guards. Now we get out of here, Alex replied, scanning the room for an exit. We need to regroup with Jocks and get to safety. Just then, a loud explosion rocked the shipyard, causing the walls to tremble. What was that? Lyra exclaimed, her eyes wide with fear. The Zinther must be trying to retaliate, Sam said, urgency in his voice. We need to move now. They quickly made their way to the back exit of the control room, Alex leading the way. The sounds of blaster fire and alarms continued to echo behind them, but they pressed on, determined to escape the chaos, as they emerged into the open air. They found Jocks waiting for them, his face a mix of worry and excitement. I thought you'd never come out, he exclaimed, glancing back at the shipyard. What's the plan? We need to regroup and warn the other colonies about the Zinther's plans, Alex said, catching his breath. They're planning an invasion, and we can't let them succeed. Kira nodded, her expression fierce. Let's rally our allies and prepare for a counterattack. Can't let the Zinther take control. With their mission only just beginning, the group moved forward, united in their goal to protect their worlds. They knew the fight ahead would be tough, but with each other by their side, they felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The galaxy depended on them, and they would not fail. After escaping the Zinther's shipyard, Alex and his team gathered in a safe location in the heart of Vorten Prime. They found a small, abandoned building that had once served as a supply depot. The walls were cracked, and dust covered the floor. But it provided them with the shelter they needed to regroup and plan their next steps as they settled in. Alex pulled out the holographic map that Sam had accessed earlier. The map displayed various locations across the galaxy, showing the Zinther Empire's influence expanding rapidly. "We need to warn the nearby colonies about the Zinther's invasion plans," Alex said, studying the map intently. "If we don't act fast, they could be caught off guard." Lyra stepped forward, her expression serious. "My people, the Elorians, have allies among the other species. If we can reach them, we may be able to form a united front against the Zinther." Kira nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "We need to gather as many allies as possible. The more we have, the stronger we'll be against the Zinther." Jox, leaning against the wall, crossed his arms. "I have connections with some of the local gangs. They might not be the best fighters, but they know the streets and can help spread the word quickly." "Good idea," Alex replied. "We'll need all the help we can get. Let's split up into groups. Kira and I will reach out to the Elorians and other peaceful factions. Sam and Jox, you go to the underground and gather support from the locals." The team quickly made preparations, knowing that time was of the essence. They agreed to meet back at the depot in 2 hours to share information and finalize their plans. Each member felt a mix of excitement and anxiety, aware that the fate of their world hung in the balance as Kira and Alex made their way toward the Elorian enclave. They discussed their strategy. "We need to emphasize the urgency of the situation." Kira said, "The Zinther won't wait for us to gather forces. They'll strike as soon as they're ready." "I know," Alex replied, determination in his voice. "But if we can convince them that we can win, they will join us. They need to see the strength and unity." When they arrived at the Elorian enclave, a group of tall, graceful beings awaited them. The Elorians had shimmering skin and eyes that sparkled like stars. Lyra's people were known for their wisdom and strength, and Alex hoped they would heed the warning. Lyra stepped forward, her presence commanding. "My friends, we have urgent news. The Zinther Empire plans to invade your homes and enslave our people. We need your help to stand against them." The leader of the Elorian Council, a wise elder named Ilion, regarded them with concern. "We have heard troubling whispers, but we did not believe the threat was so grave. You have returned with the princess. This gives us hope, but we are afraid." Kira stepped in, her voice steady. "We have a chance to unite against the Zinther. Together, our combined strength can defeat them. We cannot wait for them to strike first. We must act now." Ilion considered their words carefully, glancing at the other council members. "If we join you, we risk everything. The Zinther have powerful weapons and armies. We also have the power of unity," Alex interjected, feeling the weight of their mission. "If we stand together, we can create a force the Zinther cannot ignore. We have already disabled their ships and disrupted their plans. Now, we must spread the word and prepare for battle." After a tense moment, Ilion nodded slowly. "You speak with conviction. We will stand with you. I will call upon our allies and organize a meeting to rally our forces. We must act swiftly." Meanwhile, in the underground of Vorten Prime, Sam and Jox were working their magic. They met with various local gangs, some rough and tough, others more organized. Jox spoke passionately about the need for unity against the Zinther threat. "This isn't just about our neighborhoods anymore. It's about our entire way of life." One of the gang leaders, a tough-looking individual named Vex, crossed his arms. "Why should we help? What's in it for us?" Sam stepped forward, his voice firm. "If the Zinther take over, they won't stop at the colonies. They will come. For everyone, we need to protect our homes and our families. Join us, and we can fight back together." Vex exchanged glances with his crew, and after a moment, he nodded. "All right, we'll help you spread the word. but you better make sure this plan of yours works. As the two groups reconvened at the supply depot, each team shared stories of their meetings. Alex felt a surge of hope as Lyra reported on the Elorian Council's agreement to join the fight. Sam and Jock shared their success in rallying support from the local gangs. Now that we have allies, we need to coordinate our efforts, Alex said, looking at the map again. We will need to have a central command to share information and strategy. Kira smiled, her spirits lifted. We'll show the Zinther that we are stronger together. They won't know what hit them. With renewed determination, they began to strategize their next steps, ready to face the challenges ahead. Each member of the team felt a bond growing, one forged in purpose and the fight for freedom. The battle for the galaxy had just begun, and they were determined to win. The day of the planned battle against the Zinther Empire had finally arrived. The air was thick with tension as Alex and his team prepared to face their greatest challenge yet. The united forces of humans and Elorians gathered in a hidden location just outside Vorten Prime, ready to launch their counterattack. Alex stood before the assembled group, taking a deep breath to steady his nerves. He looked out at the diverse faces before him, humans, Elorians, and members of various local gangs, each one filled with determination. This was not just a fight for survival. It was a fight for freedom and unity. Thank you all for coming, he began, his voice strong. Today, we stand together against a common enemy. The Zinther Empire believes they can take our homes and enslave our people. They are wrong. We have already shown that we can disrupt their plans by disabling their ships, but now we must take the fight to them. Together, we will defeat the Zinther. Cheers erupted from the crowd, and Alex felt the energy surge through him. Kira stood at his side, her expression fierce. We've trained hard for this moment. We know their weaknesses, and we are ready to exploit them. Let's show them what we can do. Lyra stepped forward, her Elorian features glowing with resolve. We will fight not only for our people, but for all those who suffer under Zinther rule. Together, we will reclaim our freedom. With spirits high, they reviewed the battle plan. Sam had developed a strategy to divide the Zinther forces. Using the element of surprise to their advantage, they would launch a diversionary attack on one side of the Zinther base, drawing attention away from the main assault on their command center. Once we create the diversion, we'll have a window to breach their defenses and take control of their command system, Sam explained, pointing to the map spread out on a makeshift table. If we can cut off their communication, we can disorient them and gain the upper hand. As the leaders discussed their roles, Jocks prepared the teams. For the upcoming fight, he moved through the crowd, checking weapons and ensuring everyone understood their assignments. Remember, we need to keep communication open. If anyone gets into trouble, signal us immediately. We're in this together. The sun began to set, casting an orange hue across the sky. With the last details finalized, the group set out toward the Zinther base, moving under the cover of darkness. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation, each member acutely aware of the stakes. As they approached the base, Alex's heart raced. They crept through the shadows, staying low and quiet. The Zinther base loomed ahead, a fortress of metal, and light heavily guarded. They could see Zinther soldiers patrolling the perimeter, their eyes scanning for any signs of trouble. Get ready, Kira whispered, her voice barely audible. We strike on my signal. The team took their positions. Ready to execute the plan? Alex felt a sense of camaraderie as he glanced at his companions. They were all united in this moment, ready to fight for their freedom. Kira raised her hand, counting down silently. 3, 2, 1 now, she shouted, and the group erupted into action. Kira and her team charged toward the guards, weapons drawn. While Alex and Sam made their way toward the command center, the sound of blaster fire filled the air as Kira led the charge. She fought with precision, taking down Zinther soldiers one after another. The local gangs joined in, using their knowledge of the terrain to flank the guards and create chaos. Meanwhile, Alex and Sam reached the entrance of the command center. They could hear the alarm blaring inside, signaling that their plan was working. Let's go, Alex urged, pushing the door open and rushing inside. The command center was filled with Zinther officers, their expressions shifting from surprise to anger as they realized the intruders had breached their defenses. "Intruders!" one of the officers shouted. Reaching for his weapon, Alex and Sam quickly took cover behind a console, returning fire as the Zinther soldiers reacted. "We need to take out their communication systems," Sam yelled over the noise. He pointed to a large console at the far end of the room. "Well, that's our target." With determination, Alex nodded, and they rushed toward the console, dodging blaster fire as they moved. They reached it just as more Zinther soldiers entered the room, their faces twisted in fury. "Cover me!" Alex shouted to Sam, who quickly aimed at the approaching guards. Alex focused on the console, his fingers flying over the controls. "I need a few more seconds." As the Zinther soldiers moved closer, Sam fired at them, trying to hold them off. The room was filled with the sounds of battle, blaster fire ringing in their ears. "Almost there," Alex shouted, sweat trickling down his forehead. His heart raced as he worked to disable the communication systems. Just as the last Zinther soldier fell to the ground, Alex completed the task. The console lit up with a green light, indicating that their communications were down. "We did it," Sam exclaimed, a grin spreading across his face. "Now we need to get out of here," Alex urged, knowing that the Zinther would soon realize their systems were compromised as they made their way back. The sounds of battle continued to echo behind them. They had disrupted the Zinther's operations, but the fight was far from over. With their allies fighting outside, Alex felt a surge of hope. They were one step closer to freedom, and they would not stop until they achieved victory. The battle raged on outside the Zinther command center as Alex and Sam navigated through the chaos. With their communications disabled, the Zinther were scrambling to regroup, confusion marking the once orderly base. The sounds of blaster fire and shouting filled the air, blending with the thrum of machinery and the cries of those fighting for their freedom. "Let's rejoin Kira and the others," Alex shouted, urgency in his voice. They pushed through the corridors, determined to reach their allies and lend a hand where it was needed most. As they neared the exit, they could see Kira engaged in fierce combat with a group of Zinther soldiers. She moved with grace and power, her weapon firing with precision. Alex felt a rush of pride watching her fight. She embodied the strength and spirit of their united forces. "I see them," Kira yelled, spotting Alex and Sam as they rushed to her side. "We need to push through to the main gate. The others are waiting for us." With renewed determination, the three of them advanced, using cover to navigate the battlefield. The Zinther were regrouping, but their disarray made it easier for the team to push forward. Alex felt a surge of hope. They had managed to disrupt the enemy's plans, and it seemed as though victory was within reach. Suddenly, a loud explosion rocked the area, sending debris flying. The ground shook beneath their feet and dust filled the air.
What was that?"
Sam shouted, squinting through the smoke. "The shipyard. They're trying to destroy their own equipment to prevent us from using it," Kira responded, her voice filled with anger. "We can't let them succeed." Without hesitation, Alex led the charge toward the main gate. They fought through a few remaining guards, each member of the team displaying their skills. Alex fired his weapon with determination, knowing that every shot counted. As they reached the gate, they spotted Jox leading a group of fighters. "There you are," he shouted, relief flooding his face. "We've held them off, but they're regrouping. We need to move fast. Let's go," Alex urged, and the group surged forward, breaking through the last line of defense. The sight of their allies waiting outside filled them with pride. Once outside, they were greeted by the cheers of their combined forces. The local gangs, Alorians and humans, had fought side by side, and now they stood united. "We did it," Jox shouted, raising his weapon in triumph. "We took down the Zinther stronghold." But Alex knew that the fight was not over yet. "We need to make sure they can't come back. Can't let them regroup or retaliate. We have to finish this." Lyra stepped forward, her eyes fierce. "We need to take the fight to their home base. If we can strike at the heart of the Zinther Empire, we can end this once and for all." The team quickly gathered, discussing their next steps. They reviewed the information Sam had gathered about the Zinther's main base. a heavily fortified fortress on a distant planet. It won't be easy, Sam explained. They'll be expecting us, especially after the disruption we caused today. But we have the element of surprise on our side, Kira added. We can use the ships we disabled to launch a surprise attack. Alex felt a surge of confidence. We've come this far together. If we strike now, we can take them off guard and prevent them from launching any further attacks on our people. The group rallied around Alex, their spirits high. They were ready to fight for their freedom, to protect their homes, to stand against the tyranny of the Zinther Empire. As they prepared for the journey to the Zinther base, each member felt the weight of their mission. They knew the risks, but they also knew that they were fighting for something greater than themselves. They were fighting for unity, for freedom, and for a future where all species could coexist peacefully. The team boarded their ships, and as they took off into the vastness of space, Alex looked out at the stars. He felt a mixture of fear and excitement, but above all, he felt hope. They were not just a band of fighters, they were a united force, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they traveled toward the Zinther stronghold, Alex turned to his companions. No matter what happens, we stand together. We fight together, and we will win together. With determination in their hearts, they approached the Zinther base, ready to strike a decisive blow against the enemy. United in their cause, they prepared for the final battle that would determine the fate of their galaxy. The time for action had come, and they would not back down. Together, they would forge a new future, free from the shadows of oppression.